So as many of you may be aware, with the new Sweet Discoveries in-game event, Niantic released a brand new Pokemon, Applin, into Pokemon GO. But this Pokemon is creating a bit of controversy within the Pokemon GO community, and the reason for that is because of just how rare it is to get those apples that you need to evolve it. As much as I like to give constructive criticism to Niantic whenever they do something wrong, I really do think that's the case right here. So yeah, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the ways that Niantic could improve this feature and have it live up to its potential. Hey, what's happening everyone? Jinsula here with a brand new Pokemon GO video. I hope your day is going really well, and let's get right into it. So we gotta talk about the new Pokemon Applin. This is a Pokemon that Niantic released in Pokemon GO through some special means, and I think it was something that I was personally really excited about. I really did think that this was something very fresh and something new for Pokemon GO players. But of course, upon execution, I felt like Niantic severely dropped the ball. And the reason why I say that is because what was something that was going to be really exciting and really special and unique ended up being something that definitely frustrated a lot of players. And the reason for that is because of the scarcity of the apples. If you wanted to get yourself an Applin, you needed to tap on these new things called apples, and they would be spawning in the wild, supposedly, or under Mossy lures. However, the problem is that they are extremely rare, and they do not have a 100% chance at spawning an Applin, which means if you were lucky enough to even come across an apple in the ground, you may not even be the Pokemon that you want. And I think overall, this is something that maybe was intentional, maybe they wanted to keep this Pokemon very scarce, but I do feel like this just creates a lot of frustration, especially because you do need a bunch of these apples in order to evolve your Applin into a different Pokemon. And I think a lot of players wanted to get some of these things right off the bat. They wanted to go out and farm and get as many apples as they needed, and they were not able to do so. I totally understand that Niantic did not want players to get these Pokemon right away, but at the same time, they kind of pushed the pendulum a little too far to the other side, and now it's almost extremely rare that you ever come across these apples. Now, one thing that I did see online is that in order to get as many of these apples as you possibly need, you need to actually use those Mossy lures. I went out and tried this. I went to a Pokestop and then I used the Mossy lure, and even then, I barely saw any apples during the duration of the Mossy lure. At most, maybe I came across 2 or 3 apples per use of the Mossy lure, and that did not feel that rewarding. I really felt like if I was going to use a premium item in the game, then I should be able to get a little bit more than what I ended up getting. And maybe this is the adjustment that Niantic needs to make. Maybe, yeah, it's meant to be incredibly rare to come across an apple in the wild, and the best way to get them is through Mossy lures. But even if you use Mossy lures, you should have them be a lot more abundant. Give people a chance to feel rewarded for using those premium items, and maybe just increase the rate at which you can get these apples to spawn. I think that's one of the adjustments they should make. And then on top of that, maybe they could also adjust the required number of apples for evolving your Applin. I think setting it to 50 is a little bit much at this point. It means that you're just going to have to do a lot of incredible grinding, and it really is a bit luck-based because you're not going to come across these apples in the wild. It's going to be extremely rare, and if you want to get 50 apples to evolve your Applin to whatever version you want, it's going to require an incredible amount of grinding, and I just don't think that's a lot of fun. It's very cumbersome. It ends up becoming something like, it becomes a point of frustration for a lot of players, because if they want to get these evolutions, let's say they have an Applin and they want to evolve it to Appleton, for example, then they need to go out and find as many of those apples as they can. I think it's the tangy apple, or it's the sweet apple. I don't know which one. But regardless, they need to get as many of those as they can. I mean, just imagine this, like you have yourself an Applin that you want to evolve, and when you finally do, great. But later on down the road, maybe you'll find an Applin that's even more worth evolving. Like, it's going to be a shiny version, or a 100% IV, or one with PvP IVs. I really do not know what the case may be, but you want to evolve that one. Now you have to go through the grind all over again. Yeah, this is the thing that I'm talking about. It just feels very cumbersome. It's a lot of the complaints that I see when it comes to Pokemon like Magikarp. Let's say they do get enough candy to finally evolve their Magikarp. Well, what happens in the future when they get a much better Magikarp? They have to go through that grind all over again. It just feels all the same, and I just do not like that sort of gameplay. Yeah, I totally recognize that by making it a lot more grindy just like this, they ultimately create an artificial sense of feeling rewarded. You know, you went through the grind in order to get a brand new Pokemon. I totally understand that, but I think there's much better ways they could have handled it. Maybe they could have had it so that when you walk an Applin, you could actually collect apples instead of candy, or both. I think that would have been a nice little fix. I don't know, it just feels like right now it's just very cumbersome. I think I can't think of a much better word than that. It just feels very grindy, it feels very frustrating, it doesn't feel very streamlined, it feels very complicated. I just feel like there's a lot more they could do to make this system just feel a little bit better. And ultimately what it comes down to is the frequency at which you get apples, especially when it comes to Mossy lures, and also the requirements that are there for evolving your Applins. I just feel like it's just way too high. So those are the 2 points that I would suggest Niantic make adjustments in. Yeah, maybe they could fix this before the event ends. I really do not know. Or if these apples are going to be a part of the game from this point on, just like with Kecleon, I think at the very least they could make these adjustments on the fly, even after the event ends. But yeah, in any case, that's essentially going to be it. I really cannot say anything else regarding this. I mean, I could tell you how you can get more apples. Basically just use your Mossy lures. Go to an area where there's a bunch of Mossy lures already being used. I'm sure you're going to find more apples under those Mossy lures, but that's pretty much it. It's going to be really difficult to find these in the wild. It's set up in a way where it's meant to be incredibly rare, and I personally just do not like that. But yeah, it is what it is. Maybe Niantic could make those adjustments that I suggested. Maybe there's other suggestions that people in the Pokemon GO community could make. And hopefully Niantic has their ears to the ground, because this is definitely something that I thought had a lot of potential, but right now it just doesn't feel like they're meeting it. But yeah, that's pretty much all my thoughts. Definitely share yours in the comments section down below. If you have anything regarding this whole Applin situation, definitely share it. Maybe I'm totally off base here. Maybe the Pokemon GO community is just complaining for the sake of complaining and the system is actually fine. If you feel that way, definitely share your reasons why for thinking that down below, because yeah, there is the counterpoint that Niantic did a really good job with this and they're doing everything as it was meant to be. And if you agree with that, then yeah, definitely share your reasons for thinking that down below and in the comments, and let's have a great discussion. And thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you hit that thumbs up, like button, and subscribe if it's your first time here. And don't forget the notification bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. Real quick, let me give a shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support the Jinsula channel, the absolute best way you can do that is going to be by joining my Patreon. And if you become a paid Patreon member, I'm going to add you to my Pokemon GO friends list. So that means for stuff like remote raids, the friendship system, opening and sending gifts. If you want to play Pokemon GO with me, then make sure you go and check out my Patreon. And if you want to support my channel in a completely different way, you can do so by following me on social media. My handle is @Jinsula. I'm on the platforms that you see on the bottom of your screen. Make sure you go over there and give me a follow. That'll be a huge help. And that's going to be it for this video. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.